רבותיי, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו וירוויח. The subject of the shiur today, Rosh Hashana, Aleph Tishrei. Why דווקא Aleph Tishrei? Anyone have any idea why דווקא Aleph Tishrei? Koki, please join us here. Why are you sitting behind me? I would love to see you. Please come here. So leave early. Don't worry, you're never going to disturb me. Come sit here. Come. You might not going to leave at all. You hear the show, you're not going to leave. Come, join us here. Here, sit right in the front.
My grandchildren.
No, your grandchildren can join us also for a schnapps. So, רבותיי, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. Why Rosh Hashanah? That's the question that we're going to explain today. דווקא on Aleph Tishrei. So, before we start, we all know, just to give us some idea, that Rosh Hashanah fall on Aleph Tishrei and Bet Tishrei. Okay? That's the 2 days that Rosh Hashanah fall. And the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 16, folio 1, says something very interesting. Our sages say something very interesting. Hazal tell us, Akol nidonim beRosh Hashanah. Everyone get judged in Rosh Hashanah. Everyone. We'll explain now. V'gzar din shelahem, and their judgment, nehtam beyom HaKippurim. That means that the judgment, when do they pass in the judgment? When everyone get his judgment? On Yom Kippur. That's the Gemara. What is the idea behind it? So Hazal explained the idea. In Rosh Hashanah, every human being, Jewish, not Jewish, the entire world get judged on Rosh Hashanah. Who's going to live, who's not going to live, Chas v'Shalom. Who's going to be rich, who's going to be poor, which country will be in peace, which country going to be in war, which person will have health, wealth, and Chas v'Shalom not. Which person going to be all of his life, all that year, excited, and never have a peace in his ear. That's what we get judged in Rosh Hashanah. But Hazal tell us that the most important thing on Rosh Hashanah, you know what the most important thing in Rosh Hashanah? Nachon, that we obligated to do tshuva, tzedakah, utfilah. Nachon? Nachon? Everyone agree with me? But what is the most important thing on Rosh Hashanah?
Coronate Hashem as king.
That's it. That means to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu on us. That means each one of us have to understand that I have a king. Who's the king? The Almighty. But not only on ourselves, to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu as a king for the entire world. That's the highlight of the day, Rabotai. Once that you focus on the davening in Rosh Hashanah, you have to understand that the most important thing, to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu on us, on the entire world. That means that there is en od ehad milevado. That means there is no one else except the Almighty. That's the highlight of Rosh Hashanah. That's what you have to focus. Obviously, you have to focus on the davening. I'm not saying no. But the highlight of Rosh Hashanah, that. Any questions so far? No. So let's continue. Why did the Rosh Hashanah fall dafka on Aleph Tishrei? To understand that, we start like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu started his creation. You know when? Philip. Kafhei Elul. The 25th of Elul. We were speaking in Philip, so I'm just referring to it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu started the creation, remember, Rabotai, 25th of Elul, Kafhei Elul. On Aleph Tishrei, awards, the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Adam HaRishon. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu finished to create Adam HaRishon, the entire creation finished. That means, in Aleph Tishrei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu finished to create the world. You understand? But not only that, in Aleph Tishrei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created who? Adam HaRishon. And now that will help us to understand what's happening. We have to understand, we say in Tfilat Rosh Hashanah, and also the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah in page 25, folio 1, say, Ze Hayom, that's the day, Tchilat Zikaron, the beginning of the memory, Leyom Rishon, for the first day. We say it in Musaf of Rosh Hashanah. What does it mean? That means that we're saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that day, Aleph Tishrei, you follow what I'm saying? Are you with me? That's the day that the beginning of the memory. What memory? For the creation. Leyom Rishon, for the first day of the creation. You follow? Okay. Now, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu dafka on Rosh Hashanah judge us? Why not another day? By the way, you know which one is the first month and which month is Tishrei? Tishrei is the 7 months. Which one is the first month? Nisan. So how come that we say that Rosh Hashanah, is in Tishrei if it's the 7 months? You understand me? When Rosh Hashanah fall on a 7 months on a Jewish calendar. You understand the question? Anyone have any idea? It's a big difference. There is Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh, it means the head of all the months. Which one is the head of all the months? Nisan. Many people get confused, and I will explain now, between the Gentile New Year's to us. The first of all the months, Nisan. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the first month. The 7 months is Tishrei. That means that's Rosh Hashanah. נכון? Aleph Tishrei and Bet Tishrei is Rosh Hashanah. To tell us for the beginning of the creation, which one is the Rosh Hashanah? The new year? Tishrei. Do you understand the difference? You follow? Okay.
So, sorry, where did the months come from?
Sorry?
Where did the months come from?
The Torah tells us. Now, just now, I'm going to get to all of them. Now I'm going to get to them. So, you're asking, how do we know, basically, let me refer to you. How do we know that Tishrei is the 7 months? That's what you're asking. And Nisan is the first month.
Yeah, so why not the second?
No, that's what you're asking. So that's what I explain, and I'll give sources just now from the Torah. The Torah tells us, when she speaks about the months of Nisan, the months that we've been liberated. When I say liberated, we become a nation. From where? Egypt. נכון? ראשון הוא לכם, לראשי חודשים. That means the first months to all the months. Which month is that? Nisan. You understand? You follow? Okay. Now, we know that in Tishrei symbol a lot of things. The months of Tishrei. But before I start with Tishrei, I just would like to answer one more question that I asked at the beginning and I still didn't answer. Why then HaKadosh Baruch Hu judge everyone in Rosh Hashanah, that it's the months of Tishrei, and not in Nisan? Do you understand my question? Because when is the beginning of the creation start? Elul. When did HaKadosh Baruch Hu finish the creation and Adam HaRishon been born? Rosh Hashanah. That's when he been judged. Do you understand? That will help you to understand. And that's the biggest difference between us and the Gentile. Because for them, Rosh Hashanah is the new year. What is the new year for them? Ask them, they don't even know. They don't know. For us, Rosh Hashanah, it's not a new year. It's a day of judgment. Do Do you understand what I'm saying? That's where the difference comes. Now, I would like to go through a few certain important things that happen in Rosh Hashanah, in Aleph Tishrei. So as I mentioned, Adam HaRishon been created in Rosh Hashanah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu finished the 6th day of creation on Rosh Hashanah. Akedat Yitzhak. Everyone understand what is Akedat Yitzhak? Who doesn't understand Akedat Yitzhak? Lionel. Oh, Brian. Akedat Yitzhak, it's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu took Yitzhak, his son, and he was ready to sacrifice him on the altar. That's called the Akedah. Sorry, Abraham took Yitzhak, his son, to sacrifice him on the altar. That's called Akedat Yitzhak. Noah, you remember Noah? Noah, the first time that he opened the door and gone out after the flood is finished was on Rosh Hashanah. Not when he said, when he opened the seal and he let everything out was on Rosh Hashanah. Rivka Imenu. Okay? Sorry, before that, Sarah Imenu. Sarah Imenu born on Rosh Hashanah and died on Rosh Hashanah. Did you know that? Rivka Imenu, we know that she couldn't have kids when she fell pregnant in Rosh Hashanah. Who else that the Torah, the Tanakh speak a lot about it? Hannah, the mother of Shmuel HaNavi. Hannah, the mother of Shmuel the prophet, fell pregnant on Rosh Hashanah. Any questions so far? Nothing. Okay. The month of Tishrei, it's a full month. In a month of Tishrei, we have 30 days. You know that? It's the full month that have 30 days. What is the star luck of Tishrei? And now you'll understand what I'm referring at the beginning of the show. Libra. In Hebrew, we say Moznaim. Moznaim is a scale. Everyone understand Libra? It's a scale. Why Dafka scale? Because in Chodesh Tishrei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu weigh our deeds, the good and the bad. Please God, always the good going to be up and the Averot will be down. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the star sign of Tishrei. Sorry, Norman?
The other way around.
Why? It should be on top, the mitzvot on top.
The good deeds are heavier, so they go down. It's not bad deeds.
Okay. For me, the mitzvot, when the mitzvot is on top, that means that they're higher. We have more mitzvot. Okay. Rosh Hashanah is the only festival, the only Hag that fall on Rosh Chodesh. You know that? No other Hag, no other festival that we have fall on Rosh Chodesh. Did you know that? You didn't. Rosh Hashanah can fall only on 3 days. Cannot fall on 3 days. Yom Aleph, Yom Daled, and Yom Vav. That means Rosh Hashanah will never fall on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, and on a Friday. Why? Because if it's fall on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, on a Friday, it's going to push Yom Kippur to be before Shabbos or straight after Shabbos. You understand? Why is that? There's a problem. Because if Yom Kippur fall before Shabbos or after Shabbos, we'll have 2 days of Shabbaton, of Shabbat, that we're not allowed to do any melacha. You follow what I'm saying? You're not allowed to do any melacha of tzorech ochel nefesh. You can never cook for Yom Tov. That means that there is a problem for 2 days. So Hazal makes sure that Rosh Hashanah will never fall on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, and on a Friday. Any question?
So why 2 days? Just explain it.
Why is it 2 days? I will explain now. I will get to it. Why do we celebrate 2 days In the diaspora is simply because we always celebrate. But Hazal bring it.
I mean, why, you say we would have to fast? Would you-
Why is it? Because, listen to me. If it's fall before Shabbat, that means it's fall on a Friday.
Yes.
Wait.
So,
So it's become Shabbaton.
yeah.
And we have Shabbos after that. 2 days.
Talking about Yom Kippur.
You understand? So what's happened? That if Yom Kippur going to be on a Friday and on a Saturday, how are you going to eat?
How are we going to start the fast?
If it's fall
But
after
it's
on a
Friday
Sunday,
night,
wait.
Saturday night.
The main reason is that Rosh Hashanah can never be on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. That Yom Kippur will never fall before Shabbat or after Shabbat. Why? Because if it's fall before Shabbat, that means that Friday.
Friday night, Friday.
Friday is going to be Yom Kippur.
Thursday night.
Friday.
And then
Not
Shabbos
on
is Yom
Friday.
Kippur.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If it's fall on a Sunday, it's going to be Saturday, Shabbat. Sunday going to be Yom Kippur. 2 days of Shabbaton that you cannot do any melacha, you cannot do any tzorech ochel nefesh, you can never cook, you can never do anything that you need, the words, the eating. What are you going to do? Now you have to understand. Why is that? Because in the olden days, they used to shech. They never used to have fridges. So on Yom Tov, they used to shecht. Do you understand? Okay. I answer you? Okay. The name of Rosh Hashanah. We spoke at the beginning of the shiur. How many names Rosh Hashanah have? And now I'm going to answer our friend Ivan regarding where is it mentioned the months. That's what you ask. So Rosh Hashanah have 4 names. I'll help you. The first name that we ever come in touch with, it's in Sefer Vayikra. In Sefer Vayikra, Parashat Emor, in chapter 23, verse 24, the Torah tells us like this. You listening, Ivan? B'chodesh HaShve'i, in the 7 months. Be'echad lachodesh, at the beginning of that month. You understand? Yeh lachem, you should have Shabbaton Zikaron Truah. That means that day should be for you for a memory and a day of Truah. What it means a day of Truah? Of blowing shofar. So which one is the 7 months? Tishrei. Do you understand? That's where we got all the months. You follow? In Sefer Bamidbar, in Parashat Pinchas, we come into the second name. So remember, the first name, Yom HaZikaron. Am I right? That means that's the day of memories. In Sefer Bamidbar, in Parashat Pinchas, chapter 29, verse 1, the Torah tells us like this. B'chodesh HaShvi'i, again, on the 7 months, Be'echad lachodesh, Mikra Kodesh yeh lachem, it means that should be a holy day for you. Yom Teruah yeh lachem, that's the day of blowing the shofar. So what's the second name? The first name was Yom Zikaron. The second name, Yom Teruah. Okay. So we know that these, sorry?
You're repeating Truah. You said Zikaron and Truah together.
Yeah, but the first thing is the day of memory. Yom Zikaron. Yom Zikaron. Yom Zikaron Teruah. But here is a Yom Teruah. So you have 2 different names. You understand? That's from the written Torah. The name Rosh Hashanah, in English, you translate it as a new year. Where is it written? Rosh Hashanah, the name Rosh Hashanah. That's from the oral Torah. It's brought in the Mishnah and the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. What does it say there? Arba'a Rashi Shanim hem. Rosh Hashanah Lailanot. You remember it say? And then it say Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah. 4 different Rosh Hashanah. So the third name that called Rosh Hashanah, we're learning from the oral Torah. Mishnah, because the Mishnah come before the Gemara, and then from the Gemara, Masechet Rosh Hashanah. The 4th name, Yom Adin, the day of judgment. Where do we learn? Also from the Gemara and the Mishnah. You remember what we said at the beginning? Aleph Tishrei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu dan kol adam. That means that that's the day of judgment. So from here we know that Rosh Hashanah have 4 days. Any questions so far? Now I'm going to move to something that I mentioned before, and I see that people didn't understand because few people asked me. I mentioned that in Rosh Hashanah, the moon gets covered, get hidden. Do you remember in the show I mentioned that on Shabbos? You don't remember. And many people said to me, what do you mean that the moon gets hidden? Well, we don't see the moon all the months of Tishrei. I didn't say that. David HaMelech, and that will help you to understand. David HaMelech says in Sefer Tehillim, in chapter 81, okay, verse 3, David HaMelech says something very interesting. Tik'u b'shofar, blow the shofar. B'chiseh leyom hagenu. B'chiseh leyom hagenu. That means, Hazal explained, that the moon, the Levana, get covered on Rosh Hashanah. Why? What's the connection? Do you understand? Anyone have any idea? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu cover the moon, that no one can see it? What does that have to do with Rosh Hashanah? Sorry? Stephen, I can't hear you. Humility of Am Israel. Okay, that's a very good idea. Anyone have another idea? Sorry?
To start afresh?
It's to
start afresh?
To start fresh, okay?
Yeah.
That's what Moti also says, start creation. But to start creation, why do you have to cover it? We can see it. So I'll tell you what the Zohar says. The Zohar HaKadosh explained something extraordinary. And now we're going to go back to the beginning of the Shi'ur. We're going to link it together. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say that the Satan come and criticize against the Jewish people. And he said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, your children sin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to the Satan, are you sure? He said, yes. He said, look, but we have a law. Al pi shnayim edim yakum davar. According to 2 witnesses, we need 2 witnesses to pass the judgment. He said, no problem. He said, do you have witnesses? The Satan smiling from here to next year. He said, who's your witnesses? He said, the sun and the moon. He said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the sun and the moon, bring them to me. The Satan ran happy, bring the moon. To HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he said, wait here. Then he ran to look for the Levana. But the Uber Chochem forgot that HaKadosh Baruch Hu hid it. The Zohar HaKadosh explained, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai explained something extraordinary, Rabotai. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu cover the Levana that the Satan can't see it? That by the time that the Satan busy looking for the moon, Rosh Hashanah passed away. HaKadosh Baruch Hu want to seal his children for the book of good life. L'chaim tovim. Therefore he covered the Levana. By the time that Rosh Hashanah passed, the Satan find the Levana. He come for the second witness. He said, listen, the judgment is finished. Avar zmano batel korbano. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu seal us for good life, l'chaim tovim. You understand? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu cover the Levana on a month of Tishrei? To help us to become Zakaim Badin. Do you understand what the Zohar say? That means that we become unguilty in our judgment. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu can write us L'chaim tovim u'leshalom.
Because he didn't have 2 witnesses.
That's it. Because you have only the sun.
Yeah.
The moon hide. Any question now?
היום יש חיים טובים בישראל, אבל אין שלום.
רגע. So Moti asked something very interesting. We have good life in Eretz Israel, but we have no shalom. Remember that. I'll answer. Yes, Stephen. Stephen, loud.
After all the time, the Satan,
Oh, the Satan should remember. Very good. But the Hazal say he doesn't have memory. And I make your question more. I know where you come with that. And I'll answer you now. I know how you come to it. I'll answer you now. Hazal said the Satan doesn't have a memory. How?
Alzheimer's.
Big Alzheimer's, not only Alzheimer's, permanent Alzheimer's. Why? Because every year we blow the shofar to confuse him. Nachon? Now you answer because you saw the Gemara. I knew that you learned that Gemara. I knew. So every year we blow the shofar. He think in the Mashiach come, he ran away. You understand? Because he doesn't have a memory. Shirkoah. I know that you learned that sugya in the Gemara. Okay, now I have to answer Moti. It's not fair. Moti says something very interesting. Moti says in Eretz Israel we have Haim Tovim, good life, but we don't have peace. Do you agree with him?
Yes.
So why is that, Rabotai? I tell you, it's very simple. Im bechukotai telechu. The Torah tells us, Im bechukotai telechu. What does it mean? If you follow my laws, you know the Torah is a manual. If you follow the manuals that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given you, there is no better life. Instruction. Follow the instruction, do the mitzvot. Not only that you're not going to have enemies, that those zillions of ants of enemies of our cousin that try to destroy us, you know how we're going to get rid of them? Like you get rid of one man. Rabotai, after 6 days war in the 70s, my parents decided to go and see Gaza. So they took me to Gaza. I was a little boy. This is a story, and listen to it. I was running in Gaza, like in my neighborhood. You know how many people protect Gaza? One soldier, I'll never forget that, with a Uzi. And everyone was frightened. But when Bnei Israel, when the Jewish people doesn't follow the book of life, the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu tried to wake us. How does he wake us up? By sending our cousin. And then doing tzarot. Maybe we'll do tshuva. I'm speaking for myself. You're all righteous. I'm speaking for myself. We all need to do tshuva. Each one of us. You know, they ask Arav Ben Zion Mutzafi, Shalita, Shehiyeh Layamim Tovim. This is one of the rabbis that every day I listen to him, almost every day. And when I say I listen every day, in the car, at home, wherever I have shiurim, I listen to him. One of his students asked, and I said that before, Rabbi, when is the Mashiach come? You know what he said to him? כשהדתיים ירצו אותו. When the religious people will want him. That we're a army, when we decide that we want the Mashiach, that's when he's going to come. What does it mean? That he doesn't speak about the people that don't know. We that know, we have to do the mitzvot. We that we learn, we should improve our deeds. And I'm speaking for myself, not for you. You're all tzaddikim. You understand? And that's a difference. You understand, Moti, why? Im bechukotai telechu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us a manual. Do the manual, no problem. Rabotai, we used to walk when I was a kid, every Yom Kippur, from my neighborhood in Katamon to the Kotel HaMa'aravi at night. No protection, no security, to the Kotel HaMa'aravi. Today, who can walk through all those areas? Those areas are so dangerous. And no one was even blinking to think to speak to us. But, לא עלינו, when they do מצעד הגאווה, מצעד התועבה in Yerushalayim, when they march and everyone proud, they call it the proud march. That's a proud. The gay proud. That's what you're going to be proud in Yerushalayim, the holy city. So what you want? HaKadosh Baruch Hu to sit behind Moti? זה בחוקותיי תלכו? If there is million, and I'm not shy to say the word millions, of little kids that can't say Shema Israel in Eretz Israel, because the ministry of education for them is more important to teach other religion. You understand? What left? If in the army there is men and women in the same unit, in the same tank, never was like this. Moti, you remember that? How can you put in the same tank a man and a woman and Yetzer Hara will never work? What's wrong with you? In the same unit, in the same base.
When will it change? When will it change?
When we want it. When we, the religious, when we gonna change.
The ones that are not through, you expect everyone to...
I can't expect from them, they don't know. Tinok shenishba, we call them.
So when can the Mashiach know?
When we want it, when we really want it, we change our deeds, and then we'll influence on them.
Ah, not when everybody...
Rabotai, let's...
Religious party in Israel, he wanted, he can't do it, but these people these the bad people.
Rabotai, I would like to finish and conclude because we go on to politics, what we shouldn't. We know now why we're celebrating Rosh Hashanah Dafka on Rosh Chodesh Tishrei. We know that Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, that it's Rosh Hashanah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu finishes creation. Created Adam HaRishon, we've been created. We know that the most important thing on Yom Kippur, to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu on us. That's the most important. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all going to be sealed and been written in a book of life, us, our family, and all the Jews all over the world in Rosh Hashanah, this coming Rosh Hashanah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mera b'yameinu amen ken yeh ratzon.